You just have to know if you're going to step out into entrepreneurship, go with your values, know your mission, know your vision, and you have to keep those front and center.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
That's how I became a leader by accident. So, out of survival. So, can you tell us a little bit more about when do you realize that? Hold on a minute. This is because at the beginning I'm thinking I didn't sign up for this leadership thing. I signed out to sell something, make money, make profit, and make money, and that's what I signed up. And now, the more you grow, especially after the first million, now you have to be a leader. You have to develop leadership in the organization, and if you don't make this work, you're not gonna grow. And this is what it's gonna take. And even I end up calling my organization speakers and leaders because it's all about leadership. When you get so, when do you realize that? Oh my God, this is a leadership component here in my life that I didn't sign up for, but I had to work with this, that, and lead by example. Otherwise, I won't be able to grow.
So, a couple of different things. So, I was a really, pardon the language, leader when I was in the magazine, when I was in my first career in magazine publishing.
At least you were crappy. I was no leader at all.
I, I, I did not know how to let things go or let people do for themselves. It was like I wanted my hand in every single bucket, right? And I realized I'm never going to grow. I'm not going to have anybody. I wasn't doing what I teach now, which is teach to take my. You want to teach people to take your place, right? You want people to be able to do that and help people level up. And so I wasn't doing that. Even though that's what I wanted to be led so that I could take my boss's place, but I wasn't doing it myself. And so
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
was a one of my team members left, and I was so upset because out of all my team members, he was the one that I loved him. He got along great. And it was that moment I was like, I had to make a change. And that's when I started, I actually started taking other courses. I took a Dale Carnegie course. I took some other classes, whatever. Um, and then that turned around that business that I was, where I was involved in. But what it also did is it made me realize how horrible my actual leader was in that company. And then fast forward, when I went into a different role as an entrepreneur and I was building a team, I had to take a step back and say, okay, if I'm going to build a team and I need everybody else to be doing and building teams, I need to lead by example. And leading by example was to give everybody else empowerment. To how do I help? I still have to do what I need to do to sell for me, but I still need to give everybody else the feeling of empowering them. And they need to watch me so that they can build teams and that their teams become successful. And it was this like big aha moment when I realized, okay, number one, I am a leader. Number two is I'm being asked by my company to teach what I'm doing because my team was successful. And then it was also the people that I was leading saying to me, oh my God, Jaclyn, I couldn't do this without you. You are a great leader. I became a person who didn't tell people what to do, but I pulled out of them what they could do. And I helped them see their potential. And I believed in people. People would say to me, Jaclyn, you are the first person that has believed in me, or at least believed in me and told me and showed it. So the defining moment for me was when I really, again, it was like, I need to make a shift when my team members, when anybody left my team, I always would do the MMA, measure, monitor, and adjust. What could I do? People leave for a reason, and most of the time people leave is because of leadership. So what could I do to become a better leader?
So I remember always in the network marketing company, they're always asking me, I want to train them. And they tell me, Harry, we need more leads in our organization. I want to attract leaders. What can I do to attract leaders? And I always telling them, look, in order to attract leaders to your organization, you have to become a leader yourself. There is no the way around. They don't have a magic one. This is how it works. If you know leaders attract leaders, so if you not become a leader yourself, how are you expecting to attract leaders to your organization and to develop leadership in your organization? So the leadership is, in our experience, we have reached over 1 million people worldwide, online, and thousands of people in stages all over the world. So in our experience, leadership is skill. Basically, the
It's
more you practice, the better you become. It's like driving a car or swimming, right? If I give you a book to drive a car, without practicing, it's work. It's skill based. Basically, the more you practice, the better you become. And then you
yes.
see all these leaders are not like history, like Martin Luther King, and everybody show up to his speech. I have a dream in Washington. And how you explain that? It was no internet, it was no thing. So how everybody show up in the same place at the same time? It's because great leadership skills, right? So, what do you what do you think about this statement? You agree or disagree? So leaders, I get that acts this a lot. Every time that I go down on the stage, there is someone from the press and the media, TV. This is the first question everybody asks me all the time. So I'm gonna to you. So are leaders born or they are
Leadership is something that is made. It's a skill you can learn and you have to keep on learning. The one thing that I will also say about leadership, and I talk a lot and I teach this, and this is relationship capital. You, as a leader, you also have to think about the relationships that you are creating. Think about the people that are working with you, the people that you're partnering with, the people that you have as your board of advisors, or your trusted people that are around you. Leadership is something, again, it's a skill that needs to be fostered and learned and keep learning. And to do that, in that relationship capital, you need to have that board of advisors that's going to say to you, hey, Harry, you know what? That wasn't really good what you did just now. That wasn't great leadership. Or, Harry, that was amazing leadership. Like, who are those people that you can trust that are going to tell you the truth? You need that group. You need to build that sphere of people around you so that if you want to be a better leader, who do you want to lead like? And who are the people that are influencing you? What books are you reading? How are you practicing it? It's a skill. Again, not everybody is a great driver. And though they could practice it, you still have to hone it. You still have to have somebody, and you have to be open to hearing people tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If I tell you that you're a lousy driver and I say to you, you really need to do a better job, I'm seeing that you're not using your turn signals and that's causing problems with the rest of the cars behind you. Being a better driver, if you want to be a better one, start using your turn signals. Okay, so now you might start using your turn signals. Same thing in leadership. Harry, that conversation that you had with somebody was more dictatorship. Maybe you might want to use your words a little bit different. It takes skill, but it also takes being open to hearing and taking in the constructive good, bad, and ugly.
yeah? And then now let's talk about the transition between corporate and entrepreneurship, right? Because a lot of people are listening to this podcast and they say, "Wow, you see, Jaclyn, I wish that I was so brave that now she the corporate work and she's running her own business, right? She can fill her calendar." So some people might think though they love the life of the entrepreneur, right? So you can even do your own calendar. You don't have to work because you want to, because you have to. If you're a leader and you develop leadership organization, if you want that also, that can happen to you, because it did happen to me, that you can be at home and the leadership team can grow your company on your behalf and actually can do it better than you. So the question is, Jaclyn, because when you are in corporate, you have your job, you have the freedom to, somebody say, hey, Jaclyn, you have to do that. You say, hey, hold on a minute, this is not my job. But when you are an entrepreneur, everything is your job. So tell us about the good, the bad, and the ugly of corporate transition to entrepreneurs. So for people that they are on the edge, yeah, a lot of corporate people on the edge listening this podcast, and we want to get your go for it.
So, all right, two things I want to talk about corporate. Okay, depending upon the corporation, you can be, you could be a intrapreneur. So what's an intrapreneur? Intrapreneur is an entrepreneur basically within a company where you can actually build something out yourself with power of a company behind you, right?
With your team, with everything, right. And be leadership, yeah, and be a leader, yeah.
Right. So you could do that. So the question is, if you're really unhappy in the corporate world, you need to take a few things and think about why you're unhappy. Is it because you don't have ownership of your own calendar, or because, in order for you to go to the doctor appointment with your kid or to the basketball or whatever it is, you have to ask permission? Then I would say to you is think about the company you're at first and seeing if it's the right fit. Does it align with your values? You might just need a switch of company, right? Entrepreneurship, you need to be able to say to yourself, I believe this is my thing, to go from corporate, which is where you do get a monthly, bi-weekly check. You know that it's coming. There's a little bit of safety in that, insecurity in that. The question I'm going to have for you is, when you step out and you go into entrepreneurship, are you ready for a big roller coaster? It's a ride. It's scary. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I love it. I love it, by the way, yeah.
Right? My daughter's
some disasters, a lot of disaster on the way though, but it's what it is.
Right. There's highs and lows, right? You remember the one thing is that before you see success, there's all this back stuff and all this work happening that you don't see. I could tell you, think about, when you're talking about Jeff Bezos, he worked in his garage. You don't necessarily always hear the number of years he worked in his garage, the height, all the starts and the stops. There will be starts and stops.
Of course,
and sometimes that roller coaster is not going to go up and down. It's going to bring you around. It's going to flip you upside down. You have to be ready for it. Right? You have to be ready for it. That being said, it's incredibly rewarding, but both can be incredibly rewarding. You just have to know, if you're going to step out into entrepreneurship, go with your values, know your mission, know your vision. And you have to keep those front and center, because when the roller coaster is whipping you around and you're going around and around, or you're up and down, or you're flipped backside, you have to look at that vision and mission to get you to feel focused and purposeful.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.